welcome to the Galactic Mind Weather Report. So yesterday we closed off the 13 days of the Yellow Seed Wave Spell. Now this Yellow Seed Wave Spell was a very intense period. It was these 10 galactic activation portal days were cranking some serious energy into our world. And that energy was to really give courage to the seed in all of us to stop fearing the manure that's around us, to stop being oppressed by these dark, shadowy caves that we feel stuck in sometimes, and to have the courage to break out of our shell and begin the process of really releasing our highest potentials into the world, and to really be aware of where we're putting our energy. Now today we're beginning the Red Earth Wave Spell. So this wave spell that we're in now, it's 13 days of really working our capacity to pay attention to the synchronicities and the signs that are around us at all times. That, it's the language of the earth. It's a language of synchronicity that we need to learn so that we can navigate our own evolution more effortlessly, more gracefully, I should say. So when I was contemplating this Red Earth Wave Spell that begins today, the first thing is Red Earth. It's the earth. It's the Pachamama. And the earth has this magnetic field, the Schumann resonance, this woof, 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 woof. It's like the earth's heartbeat, this frequency that is constantly emanating from the center of the earth through our bodies, through the animals around us, through these beautiful plants, trees, boulders, rocks, through all of our technology, through everything. There's this frequency that connects us all. The heartbeat of the earth lives in all of us, in everything. Even the synthetic artificial creations made by man were made by earth, because the earth made us. So the earth is in all of us. So when we look at the red earth, it's about listening to all of us, to listen to all of me. Not just listen to my mind, I need to listen to my heart, which is like my receiving antenna to the frequency that comes at me from all around. And at all times, the earth is speaking to us, and she's trying to guide us to the most effortless pathway through evolution. And in order to really find that pathway, the red earth is a navigator, we need to be able to let go of the control of our brain and drop into our bodies and be more present and aware in every moment, to listen to the wind as it moves through the trees, to listen to the signs, to be aware with our eyes, our senses, of smells, of things which we kind of have that deja vu feeling, this synchronicity, this recognition that something's trying to speak to me right now in this moment. And when we learn to pay attention to the signs, to the synchronicities in life, we begin to see there's this beautiful harmony, this beautiful synchronization, this mathematics that is connecting all things at once. And when we learn to navigate our lives through synchronicity as opposed to through the mind's intellectual logic, that's the feminine, that's the divine feminine coming through. Then we begin to be able to navigate our way with this incredible efficiency, because logic gets stuck, because logic can only work on the data it has right now. And any data that exists right now is not about the future. So it becomes very hard for the mind to know the most efficient way forwards. It tries. Whereas when we drop into trusting in synchronicity and listening to the flow and paying attention to this ebb and flow and movement of all the different parts of life, and this happens in our body, then we begin to find our way through the chaos in a very mystical, divine manner. That's very something you see in the movies a lot, and more around the world, people are starting to realize, it's intuition, it's a real thing, we can find our way. And as I was contemplating this Red Earth Wave Spell, I got this analogy of really visualizing, the old map makers, because the Red Earth is the navigator. This is the archetype we're working on this 13 days, the navigator within each of us. How do we navigate our way through our lives? And if you think about, when someone, in the old days, like the old Vikings, they would have the map, and this map would give them an idea. It would be the logic of what they understand, the countries where the shorelines are, you know, where the cliffs are, where the rocks in the ocean are, and they would try and create maps to know where to go. But the thing that made the difference between, you know, the real navigator and your average sailor is that the real navigator, the person who's in charge of that on that Viking ship, not only would they look at the maps, but what was even more valuable was a navigator who was able to smell the wind, who could hear the different pitches in wind, to hear the different movements of the water lapping against the boat, to be able to see the clouds and the formations and patterns and behaviors that are going on. And what the navigator would do is use all of their senses, their intuition, their sight, their hearing, their taste, you know, everything, and then bring that in along with the logical input of a map. And they would constantly be recalibrating their journey in every moment according to the new inputs they received from around them. And so a great navigator would not just follow a map, but they would also really pay attention to the signs of the ocean and the skies, because that would help them to see things that others don't see, to hear things that others don't hear. And that then helps them to be prepared for what others are not prepared for. And these navigators were worth their weight in gold in these times. And these navigators were the ones that enabled, you know, these incredibly epic journeys across the oceans before they had GPS, before they had all of these technologies. These navigators were incredible. You know, that was the red earth archetype. The capacity to navigate your pathway or your journey through listening to the many different synchronicities and languages that are happening around you at all times. It's a very still energy.